Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pixel Intel. I'm Anthony and let's get into the gaming news for this week. This week, an insider at Electronic Arts Canada leaked an internal document to the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It was a 54-page slideshow containing plans regarding FIFA Ultimate Team. Parts of the presentation discuss expanding the game's player base reach, which is pretty standard stuff to talk about in a corporate meeting. What is more concerning is this document reveals EA's intention to funnel players into FIFA Ultimate Team and away from the other game modes. For those unfamiliar with FIFA, the game mode FIFA Ultimate Team allows you to create your own team with multiple players from different teams, hence the term Ultimate Team. However, you could only acquire these players from loot boxes. The document states, and I quote, "FIFA Ultimate Team is the cornerstone and we are doing everything we can to drive players there." It goes on to say, all roads lead to FIFA Ultimate Team. Content teasers and targeting messaging will drive excitement and funnel players towards FIFA Ultimate Team from other modes. CBC reached out to an EA spokesperson who refused to comment on the document leak. EA have made an absolute killing on Lootbox sales. An EA financial report stated that in the fourth quarter of 2019 they made close to $1 billion in Lootbox sales alone. These leaks, while heavily suspected to be true, have not yet been confirmed, as this is a report from a single EA employee. If this is true, it once again brings into question the whole ethics of loot boxes and how they are marketed. Their existence is one thing, but to subliminally funnel players towards them is a whole other kettle of fish. And now for something that puts EA in a much better light, Colette, a 25-minute documentary included in the game Medal of Honor VR, has just won an Oscar. Colette is about a World War II French resistance fighter named Colette Marin Catherine, as she returns to Germany for the first time in 74 years. I won't go too much into detail about the documentary in case you want to watch it for yourself, but this is the first time in history a video game company was involved in being awarded an Oscar. I believe the credit goes out to Facebook's Oculus and EA's Respawn Entertainment, the fine folks behind Titanfall 2. Domino's Pizza and Crash Bandicoot are teaming up. What? The Noid was a character created by Domino's back in the 80s that sort of played the villain in a bunch of Domino's marketing material. It will be making a return in the mobile game Crash on the Run. You'll be able to verse it as a mini-boss, and beating it will get you pizza-themed cosmetics. Cool. Sony premiered its first state of play for this year. In it we got an update for Subnautica Below Zero. Also, if you have the first Subnautica on PS4, you'll be able to get a free upgrade to the PS5 version. Following that, we got news that Among Us will be coming to PS4 and PS5, with an exclusive Ratchet & Clank skin. Speaking of Ratchet & Clank, we got a whole 15 minutes of all new gameplay for the new Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. The mysterious white Lombax we saw at the end of the initial reveal goes by the name Rivet, and she'll be joining the classic duo in their new adventure to stop the returning villain Dr. Nefarious. The gameplay demo went on to reveal some new weapons, locations, enemies, but also some old enemies that will be making a return from older Ratchet & Clank games. Speaking of old enemies, Rift Apart would also take you back to some of the planets you adventured on in the older titles. We also learned some cool new features about the game regarding some of the crazy next-gen features Insomniac are able to implement thanks to the power of the PS5. Like when Ratchet moves into a new universe, the PS5 isn't just loading a tiny snippet of that world, but the entire level, and it is doing so almost instantaneously. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart will be coming exclusively to PS5, and will be releasing on the 11th of June this year. A Nintendo Wii, made out of 24-karat gold that was originally made for the Queen, has been put up for sale on eBay for $300,000 US. Now I know you have a lot of questions about that sentence, so let's answer a few of them. The Wii was commissioned by THQ, rest in peace, as a marketing stunt to sell their new game at the time, Big Family Games, back in 2009. It is being put up for sale by a console collector who goes by the name Donny Fillerup. How did it get into Donny's hands? I really don't know. Maybe Her Majesty traded it in at EB Games for like $50 and a copy of Modern Warfare 2, who really knows. Also, he's charging $1 standard shipping, so I know that could be a real deal breaker for some of you out there. Nintendo, completely out of the blue, announced an update for Super Mario Party on the Nintendo Switch. This update adds better online play. For those of you who have never played Super Mario Party, it was mainly a couch multiplayer affair with minimal amount of online features, and after several years of fans begging Nintendo, we finally have a more complete online experience. Now I see this as a strange move from Nintendo, as their updates for Super Mario Party were quite sparse, so to see them come out with this online update is extremely surprising and caught more than a few people off guard. Actually, the last update before this one was released on the 21st of March 2019. That's over 3 years ago. Holy moly. A couple of weeks back I reported on Castlevania Resurrection, a cancelled 3D Castlevania game that was considered lost to time, and after 20 years someone managed to find an E3 prototype demo of the game. While game preservationists have managed to make the contents of the disc available to the public, Castlevania Resurrection was meant to be released on the Dreamcast back in 2000, but was cancelled for one reason or another. My guess would be the failure of Castlevania on the N64, which was considered to be a very average game. And very average probably wasn't going to cut it for Konami back then. Not after Symphony of the Night. Man, remember how good Konami was back in the late 90s, early 2000s? Times have changed. Well, that's another episode of Pixel Intel. If you guys enjoy these videos, I put one out every Friday. You can subscribe, you'll see it next week as well. Anyway, my name's Anthony. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next episode.